You've been told to be kind, to forgive, to lead with an open heart, but beneath the noble words, you've begun to see the machinery for what it is. Every gesture of generosity is weighed, every weakness tested, every pause exploited. The world does not reward purity, it rewards precision. And now, a voice inside whispers, perhaps you're not becoming cruel, perhaps you're finally awake. Power is not a gift. It is not inherited cleanly, nor kept by charm. It is taken, defended, and wielded in a theater where loyalty is fragile, fear is currency, and appearances are a weapon sharper than any blade. You see now how men smile as they sharpen their daggers, how allies become rivals, and rivals become prey. To lead is to stand in the eye of that storm and command it, or be broken by it. Fear is not the enemy. Fear is a lever. Those who scorn it are naive, for even the most loyal will stray if their hearts are not bound by necessity. Mercy without measure breeds contempt. Discipline without teeth invites betrayal. The ruler who clings only to love will find himself alone when the wolves circle. Do you think men act from gratitude? Gratitude fades faster than the morning mist. They remember their own needs, not your favors. What endures is the knowledge that defiance carries a price. That betrayal will be answered swiftly, decisively. Without that, no kingdom stands. But power is not sustained by terror alone. Fear must be balanced with the illusion of freedom, the comfort of ritual, the spectacle of your strength. Appearances are not mere vanity, they are your armor and your sword. Men do not obey reality, they obey what they perceive. Control perception, and you control the battlefield long before the first shot is fired. And yet, beware the intoxication of dominance. Too much rigidity breeds rebellion, too much indulgence invites rot. You are not here to be loved, you are not here to be admired. You are here to endure, to build, to hold. This is the curse and the necessity of command, that you must play a role without becoming the mask. Your instincts warn you now because they are finally unshackled from the illusions fed to children. The world is not a circle of trust. It is a chessboard where the king is always hunted and pawns dream of power. To survive is to anticipate betrayal, to use ambition like a weapon, to see not only what men say but what they conceal. There will be moments when compassion tempts you, moments when you wish to lay down the burdens of rule and step into the innocence of those who are ruled. Resist it. Compassion is a luxury for those who hold no responsibility. You must be both fox and lion, cunning enough to evade traps, fierce enough to crush resistance. Every empire is a delicate illusion, every leader a performer upon a stage where failure is death. The people do not crave truth, they crave reassurance. They do not seek virtue, they seek security. Give them the appearance of both, and you will buy time, and in time lies survival. You were not born harsh, you were born naive, and that naivety was torn from you piece by piece. What remains is not cruelty, but clarity. And clarity is a dangerous gift, for it strips the world of its comforting lies. But if you wish to rule, truly rule, you must look without flinching. The strong are not those who strike hardest, but those who strike last. The patient, the calculating, the ones who know when to speak softly and when to let silence suffocate. To lead is to carry the weight of choices others fear to make, to sacrifice peace of mind for the permanence of order. You are not too harsh. You are finally awake. Awake to the currents of human nature, the frailty of promises, the necessity of command. The world does not forgive weakness, but it bows reluctantly, resentfully, to strength cloaked in wisdom. And so you walk forward, alone if you must, unseen if you must, but always forward, because there is no turning back. You will learn that the masses do not truly desire freedom. They desire order disguised as freedom, chains draped in velvet, and illusions sturdy enough to calm their restless hearts. Give them symbols to worship, enemies to hate, victories to cheer, and they will forgive the hand that tightens around their throats. For most men prefer comfort to liberty, predictability to truth. This is not cynicism, it is anatomy. To rule is to understand this anatomy and to mold it like clay. Do not mistake trust for loyalty. Trust is an emotion, fleeting and fragile. Loyalty is a transaction. It must be fed with rewards, tempered with fear, and watched for cracks. Even the most steadfast ally may one day weigh the balance of your strength against their ambitions. Prepare for that day as if it were inevitable, because it is. The wise leader does not rage at betrayal. He expects it and builds walls of contingency. You will discover that no friendship is immune to the gravity of power. The moment you rise above them, those who once loved you will resent you, even as they kneel. They will tell themselves lies to justify their envy, whisper about your flaws to soothe their pride, and wait for a moment of weakness to strike. You cannot kill envy, but you can choke its expression. Keep them divided, occupied, suspicious of one another, and they will have no energy left to conspire against you. Do not strive to be just. Strive to appear just. Justice is a myth created to bind the weak, but the appearance of justice is a weapon in the hands of the strong. Let them believe you are fair, even as you tilt the scales. Let them believe you are merciful, even as you cut down threats. Deception is not a betrayal of leadership, it is its essence. The people see only the surface. Master the surface, and the depths are yours to command. There will be voices within and without that urge you to soften, to open yourself, to trust in the goodness of men. Silence them. Goodness is a rare accident, not a principle on which to build a state. Men are fickle in prosperity and treacherous in adversity. They love while they gain from you and curse you when you demand sacrifice. Govern not as you wish they were, but as they are. Every gesture you make ripples through the fabric of perception. A smile can calm a riot. A frown can spark a rebellion. You are never unseen, never unjudged. Even in your solitude, eyes are upon you. Cultivate the discipline of the actor who knows that every movement, every word, every silence is part of the play. You are not merely a man now. You are an image, a myth, a projection of power. Guard that image more fiercely than your own life. Do not confuse caution with hesitation. Caution protects. Hesitation destroys. There are moments when the blade must fall swiftly before doubt can infect the hand. Mercy is dangerous when it delays necessary cruelty. Strike hard, strike clean, and then speak of reconciliation. Men forget violence if it is decisive. They never forget weakness. And yet, tyranny is a delicate art. Too much pressure, and the machine cracks. Too little, and it slips from your grip. Alternate severity with indulgence, fear with favor, so that neither hatred nor contempt has time to take root. Keep them guessing, never certain of your next move. Predictability breeds boldness. Unpredictability breeds caution. There are no permanent allies, only converging interests. There are no eternal enemies, only clashing ambitions. If an enemy serves your purpose today, use him. If a friend obstructs your purpose, discard him. Sentiment has no place in statecraft. The map of power is drawn not in lines of affection, but in rivers of necessity. You will feel the loneliness of command as a weight no one else can share. The higher you rise, the fewer voices you can trust. Confidants become informants. Counselors become courtiers. Even family may become adversaries. Accept this solitude not as a curse, but as a shield. In silence, you will hear the truth. In isolation, you will sharpen your will. Most rulers are undone not by their enemies, but by their own illusions. They believe they are loved when they are merely feared. They believe their strength eternal when it is already crumbling. They mistake applause for allegiance, ritual for loyalty, peace for security. Wake each day prepared to be betrayed, and you will not be surprised when the knife comes. To endure, you must be as fluid as water and as unyielding as stone. Adapt to circumstances without abandoning your core. When storms rage, bend without breaking. When the moment comes, strike without pity. To survive is not enough. You must shape events, not merely react to them. The passive ruler is already dethroned in spirit before his body falls. Learn to mask your intentions beneath layers of ambiguity. Say little, promise less. Let them struggle to read you, to divine your thoughts, to anticipate your plans. When they cannot, they will fear you more than they hate you. And fear, properly measured, is the soil in which obedience grows. You will be tempted to believe that victory is the end, that once you have conquered, you may rest. This is the most dangerous delusion of all. Power is never static. It erodes, leaks, crumbles in unseen places. Every victory sows the seeds of its own resistance. Every throne is surrounded by hands reaching to topple it. Rule as if every day were your first and your last. You will hear whispers that you have grown cold, unfeeling, merciless. Let them whisper. It is better to be feared than to be pitied, better to be respected than adored. The ruler who seeks love is already enslaved to the whims of those he governs. The ruler who commands fear walks unbound. But remember this, fear alone is not enough. The people must also believe in the necessity of your rule. Give them enemies to unite against, rituals to distract them, triumphs to celebrate. Feed their need for meaning, and they will not notice the bars of the cage. There is no final peace, no perfect order. To govern is to stand perpetually on the edge of chaos, to hold back the tide with one hand while shaping it with the other. Weakness invites the tide, strength channels it. You are not a savior, you are not a tyrant. You are the axis on which the wheel turns. Without you, the wheel shatters. You are not too harsh. You are finally awake. Awake to the weight of power, the fragility of loyalty, the necessity of control. The path ahead is narrow, steep, and merciless, but it is yours. Walk it without regret, without apology, without illusion, for the world does not reward hesitation. It rewards only those willing to pay the price of command. And in paying that price, you will know the truth that few dare to face. To lead is to be both guardian and predator, both servant and master, both man and mask. You have chosen the harder path, and there is no turning back. Then listen closely, for as you take another step into this labyrinth, you will see more clearly than ever. The world is not governed by justice, nor by chance, but by the will to shape events before events shape you. Every hesitation opens a door to those who would see you dragged down. Every indulgence creates a crack in the armor through which your enemies will pour like water. You cannot afford softness, for the soft are devoured, and the devoured are soon forgotten. Do not seek peace in this life. There is no peace for those who command. Even in moments of triumph, you must keep one eye on the horizon and one on the shadows behind you. Victory is not a resting place. It is a perch on a cliff, face, and the winds are always shifting. The ones who smile as they applaud your ascent are already calculating how to unseat you. Smile back, but never forget. The applause fades quickly. The ambitions of others never do. Understand this. Men do not love their rulers. They love the image of themselves reflected in their rulers. They will support you while you feed their hopes, flatter their pride, and protect them from the chaos they secretly fear. But the moment you remind them of their own impotence, the moment you fail to provide the comforts they take for granted, they will turn, not in reasoned dissent, but in a tidal wave of anger, as if you had betrayed some sacred trust that never existed. This is why strength must always be visible, even when it is restrained. The people are like a wild horse. They will accept the rider only so long as they feel the bit and sense the firmness of the hand. Let them believe you are gentle, but let them never forget you can break them if you choose. Mercy, unaccompanied by the capacity for force, is not mercy at all. It is impotence dressed in noble clothes. Learn to make use of appearances, for the world moves not by truths, but by perceptions. The reality of your power matters less than the belief in your power. A single rumor, left unchecked, can undermine years of careful labor. A single gesture, misread, can make you appear weak where you are strongest. Guard your reputation as you would guard your citadel. for it is the first and last defense against the chaos that hungers for your throne. There will come a day when even your closest advisors begin to test your resolve. They will dress their defiance in the language of conscience, of principle, of necessity. Do not be fooled. Principles are the masks men wear to justify their appetites. When their interests shift, so too will their morals. To rule is to understand this hypocrisy and to use it to your advantage. Give them causes to champion, enemies to despise, and you will hold their loyalty not through their love of you, but through their hatred of all that threatens you. If you must strike, strike without hesitation. Half measures invite retaliation. A wound left to fester will grow septic and poison your whole body. Better to cut deep, excise the rot, and let the pain be sharp but brief. The memory of decisive action breeds respect. The memory of hesitation breeds contempt. And yet, learn to wield cruelty with precision, like a surgeon's scalpel, not like a butcher's axe. Excess breeds rebellion. Restraint breeds calculation. The people will tolerate much if their daily bread is secure and their fears are soothed. But starve them, humiliate them, or let them believe you are no longer necessary, and they will turn on you with the fury of a beast long chained. You will be tempted to surround yourself with flatterers, with those who soothe your doubts and praise your virtues. Resist this temptation. Flattery is a drug, and the ruler who indulges it soon mistakes shadows for substance. Better to keep near you one or two who speak harsh truths than a chorus of sycophants who would watch you stumble in silence. But even as you listen, never reveal the depths of your own mind. A ruler who is fully known is already half defeated. Let them see only fragments. A smile here, a frown there, a decision that seems spontaneous but has been plotted for months. The less they understand you, the more they will fear you. The more they fear you, the more they will obey. Do not imagine that the structures you build will outlast you. Empires are not eternal. They are living organisms, fragile and mortal. The sands of time grind down even the most imposing monuments. But while you hold the reins, your duty is not to eternity, but to survival. Leave ideals to philosophers and dreams to poets. You are not placed here to dream. You are placed here to command. Every day is a battlefield, even if no swords are drawn. Your enemies are not always visible. Some wear the robes of judges, others the smiles of allies, others still the anonymity of the crowd. You must fight not only for territory but for minds, not only for obedience but for belief. A ruler who loses the battle for perception will soon lose all battles. And yet, the true cost of power is not measured in gold or blood, but in solitude. No one will ever know the weight you carry. They will see only the privileges, never the sacrifices. They will envy your throne and curse you for occupying it, blind to the nights you spend staring into the darkness, calculating how to avert disaster for another day. To lead is to be alone, and to embrace that solitude as the price of mastery. Do not seek admiration. Admiration is fickle. Seek endurance. Seek the quiet, cold authority that outlives storms and scandals alike. When they fear you just enough to restrain their ambition and respect you just enough to obey without question, you will have achieved what few rulers ever do: stability. But even stability is not peace. It is a pause between convulsions, a momentary equilibrium. Behind every facade of calm, the seeds of unrest germinate. Watch the soil for signs of movement. Uproot rebellion in its infancy before it breaks the surface. Once the fire spreads, even oceans cannot quench it. You will be accused of hardness, of cunning, of ruthlessness. Let them accuse. These are not vices in a ruler. They are virtues misnamed by those who have never held power. The gentle drown in the river of events. Only those willing to swim against its current survive. And so you steel yourself for what must come. Each day you rise, knowing that to hesitate is to lose, to relax is to fall, to trust blindly is to invite ruin. You are not a god, you are not a monster. You are a man burdened with the terrible privilege of command, and you will bear that burden until it crushes you or until you master it so completely that even death itself cannot erase your legacy. You are not too harsh. You are finally awake. Awake to the truth of men, the fragility of order, and the inexorable demands of power. Walk forward. The path allows no return, no respite, no apology. You chose to lead. Now choose to endure. Then listen still, for to stop now is to slip back into the haze, and you have already crossed too far into clarity to retreat. The world is not forgiving to those who forget its nature. It is not forgiving to those who misjudge the weight of their own position, who believe for even a moment that power exists as a thing possessed rather than a force that must be constantly tended, sharpened, defended. To lead is not to hold still, it is to run along a razor's edge where balance is survival and misstep is oblivion. There are no safe hands to entrust with your throne. Every man has his price, his fear, his hidden grievance. Even those who swear eternal loyalty harbor secret resentments, for, in the heart of every subordinate, lies the fantasy of freedom from your command, and in the heart of every ally lies the temptation to rise above you. This is not bitterness, it is observation. The very act of ruling creates enemies. To distribute favor is to create envy in those overlooked. To punish is to sow hatred in those chastised. Even in perfect justice, resentment festers. And so you must learn to move with precision, punish one as a warning to 100, reward sparingly so that gratitude does not turn to expectation, and hold all men at a distance, sufficient to command fear, but close enough to maintain control. Beware those who beg for your trust. Trust, once given, is a chain wrapped around your own throat. Give no man the power to strike you unseen. Keep confidences shallow, even with those who serve you best. A secret shared is a weapon surrendered. Let them speak to you openly. Let them believe you listen fully. But within yourself, remain silent, unyielding, unknowable. It is not enough to crush your enemies. You must erase their memory. Leave no martyrs. Let no name survive that might rally the discontented. The dead cannot conspire, but their shadows can linger in the minds of men if you do not blot them out. Erase their symbols, corrupt their myths, rewrite the narrative so thoroughly that rebellion dies not only in flesh, but in imagination. Understand the rhythm of power. There is a season for brutality and a season for clemency. There are times to strike openly and times to undermine quietly, to let a rival dig his own grave while you stand by as though unaware. The ruler who is always feared invites rebellion. The ruler who is always loved invites boldness. The art lies in oscillation, never predictable, never fully understood. You will find that manipulation is often more potent than force. A whisper in the right ear can turn a loyal subject into a traitor. A carefully planted rumor can disarm a rival without drawing your sword. Men pride themselves on their free will, yet they are puppets to emotion, fear, pride, greed, love. Pull these strings, and you move armies without lifting a hand. But manipulation demande patience. The impatient ruler reveals his hand too soon, and in doing so forfeits the advantage of surprise. Wait as a hunter waits. Conceal your claws until the prey is fully within reach. When you strike, strike not twice but once, and let that single blow decide all. There are rulers who rise swiftly on tides of luck, and they mistake fortune for mastery. Do not be among them. Fortune is a mistress who favors the bold but abandons the careless. She smiles upon those who prepare, who build their defenses in times of calm, who plan their advances long before opportunity appears. Luck without preparation is a mirage. Preparation without luck is still survival. Your enemies will speak of justice, of liberty, of the will of the people. Do not be distracted by their words. These are the banners they raise to mask their hunger for your place. Strip away the language and you will see the same ambition in them that burns in you. Do not fault them for it. Simply outmatch them. Never grow complacent. The decay of power begins not with defeat, but with comfort. The moment you believe you are secure, You have already exposed yourself. Renew your vigilance daily. Test your subordinates, even those you trust most. Remind them of your reach. Remind yourself of your limits. The throne does not forgive negligence. Do not let morality cloud your judgment. What men call moral is often only what suits their interest. A ruler who clings to absolute virtue is as dangerous to himself as one who wallows in vice. Virtue is a tool. Nothing more. Wield it when it strengthens your position. Discard it when it weakens you. The people will judge you not by your intentions, but by your results. Give them bread and spectacle, and they will forgive sins they dare not speak aloud. There will come nights when the weight of command feels unbearable, when you long to lay down your burdens and live as others do. Resist this longing. You are not as others are. You have crossed a threshold they will never approach. Your solitude is your crown, your sleeplessness your shield. To abandon it now is to consign yourself to the fate of those who sleep peacefully, only because men like you remain awake. History remembers not the gentle but the victorious. It records not intentions but outcomes, not kindness but the force that shaped nations. And yet, even history is a battlefield. Control the narrative. Rewrite the past as you shape the present. Ensure that when your name is spoken, it carries an aura of inevitability. Let them say you were harsh, but let them also say you were necessary. You are not too harsh. You are finally awake. Awake to the treachery in men's hearts, to the fragility of all human institutions, to the eternal contest between order and chaos. Awake to your own hunger, to the abyss within you that mirrors the abyss of the world. Walk forward. The throne has no backrest. The crown has no cushion. Every step is war, every breath a negotiation with fate. You have chosen this path not because it is easy, but because it is the only path for those unwilling to kneel. And so you stand, calm and remorseless, not because you are devoid of fear, but because you have made fear your servant. The wolves are always circling, but you are no longer prey. And yet, even as you have mastered the theater of power, as you have bent men to your will and silenced the voices of rebellion, you begin to see what lies beyond victory. The throne, for all its grandeur, is a prison of your own design. The walls are high, the doors are sealed, and only you remain inside. The faces around you are masks. The voices are echoes of calculation. You have become the axis on which all else turns, but an axis does not move. You wonder for a moment if it was worth it. The betrayals endured, the loyalties bought and broken, the nights spent staring into the darkness while the world slept in ignorance of how close it stood to ruin. And then you realize this question is itself a weakness, and you cast it aside like all weaknesses before it. The truth is simple, and it is final. There is no glory in power, no salvation in command. There is only the task endless, merciless, necessary. You were not chosen to rule. You seized the burden because no one else could bear it. And though they will curse you in life and praise you in death, though they will rewrite your deeds into parables of virtue or vice, you know their stories mean nothing. What matters is that order held, that the chaos was kept at bay, if only for a time. You are not a tyrant. You are not a savior. You are the hand that grips the wheel while others sleep, the shadow that keeps the fire alive, the mask that hides the cost of survival from those too fragile to bear its weight. And as the years wear you down, as your body falters and the circle of conspirators tightens once more, you do not fear the end. You have seen enough to know there are no final victories, no thrones eternal. The game continues, played by new hands, with new pieces. The only immortality is the memory of the will to command. When they come for you, and they will, you will not beg. You will not explain. You will not curse fate or lament the path you chose. You will meet your end as you have lived, eyes open, heart sealed, will unbroken. Because you were never too harsh. You were awake. And that is all that mattered.